for Milwaukee. From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, please welcome Will Krolowitz.
You guys are a great audience, and I've not heard one cell phone go off at all, and that's great. Cell phone usage in public, it's getting out of hand. I was in the restroom at my day job. Somebody was talking on their cell phone in the next stall. It's infuriating. Finally, I had to say something. I was like, hey, come on. If I have to sit here and listen to your dumb conversation, how in the hell am I supposed to come? My break's almost over. I'm trying to concentrate. Would you please shut the hell up? Or say something sexy? To which they replied, will you please leave the ladies' room? Come on, it's a joke. I've been at my job for 25 years. And in the 25 years I've been there, I've been written up one time for saying nice tits to a coworker. Like I said to the boss, that is not sexual harassment because I said it sarcastically. To a male coworker. He was wearing a white dress shirt without anything on underneath it. I think I speak for all of us when I say don't want to see your dark hairy nipples in the workplace. Cover that shit up, man. 25 years. You know, a friend of mine, on his 25th anniversary, he got a choice between a Rolex watch and a grandfather clock. You know what I got for my 25th anniversary? A fucking donut. Not even a donut from a bakery, a goddamn grocery store donut. A sticky, sweaty grocery store donut. I feel disrespected, man. 25 years, I come in one day and the boss said, hey, we're moving your desk. And I was like, I've been sitting at the desk for 25 years. You know, I wish somebody would have just come up and talked to me about it, you know? I feel like a pawn. He's like, no, come on, you're not a pawn. You're a knight because you move your two up and one over. That sucks. So I have an accent. I'm not originally from Milwaukee. I'm originally from New Orleans. And I have two growing sons. And my oldest son is a pretty boy. And I know what you're thinking. He must look like his mother. He does. He thinks my other son's my favorite because he looks like me. I'm like, no, he's not my favorite because he looks like me. He's my favorite because he doesn't look like my ex-wife. I met my ex-wife when we were both in the Army stationed in Georgia, and we eloped without meeting each other's families, which I think is a big mistake because I did not realize I had married into a Sicilian family from New Jersey. I was shocked. Because my ex-wife's maiden name was Williams. What the hell kind of Sicilian family has the last name of Williams? The kind that's in the witness protection program. So not only are they mobsters, but they're all a bunch of fucking rats. My ex-wife Victoria and her brothers Sal and Tony Williams. I kid the Sicilians, man. I love Sicilian people. Come on, my kids are half Sicilian. I'm married to Sicilian. My best friend is Sicilian. Sicilians are great. They're very loyal. They have awesome food. But at some point, they're probably going to ask you to shave their back for them. No, it happened to me. It really did. True story. It's like, listen, that's really pushing a friendship. All right, look, you're my best friend. I'll shave you back, but just this once. So please do not ask me again. Okay, Anna Maria? So, my ex-wife and I split up. She was getting out of the Army. She let me take custody of the kids, you know, to keep them on the witness protection program. And I took the kids to Europe with me. My ex-wife got remarried, had a couple more kids, and got another divorce before we came back from Europe. And she was pretty busy. And now she's just living with some dude. Okay. All right, live your life. So I went back to New Orleans, and the public schools in New Orleans were terrible. It's like, I can't bring my kids up here. I wanted to get a good education. So the girlfriend at the time down in New Orleans, living down there, but she's from Wisconsin, and she talked me into moving up to Wisconsin. She's like, they'll get a much better education up there. Come on, let's go up to Wisconsin. So we moved up there 27 years ago, and I've been up there ever since. Me and her broke up after about a year. Too much arguing, too much fighting. I don't like to argue, especially in public. You know, we're in the mall, and she's like, here, hold my purse. I'm not going to carry your purse. And she tries that psychology, what, you're not man enough to carry a purse? I'm like, that's a black bag, I'm wearing brown shoes, I'll look like an idiot. I don't want people thinking I can't accessorize. It's crazy. But I stayed in Wisconsin, I raised my sons there, they're grown men now, they got good educations, and one son works for Duke University, and another son works for a major news agency in Washington, D.C., so it was a good choice going up to Wisconsin. So when they were still in college, they took me out for Father's Day, and we were enjoying a nice Father's Day meal, it was great. A couple comes in, they got a 5 or 6 year old kid. They sit down at the table right next to us. The kid just starts banging on the table, just making a racket. And the parents don't say anything. Kid gets up from the table, starts running around the restaurant. The parents just ignore it. And one of my sons turns to me. He goes, Dad, I want to thank you for not allowing us to behave like that when we were kids. And when I have kids, I'm not going to let them behave like that either. I hope I can be as good a father to my kids as you were to me. I was touched. I thought I was going to get emotional. So you know what I did? I reached out and I gave him a little smack in the head. I said, get your elbows off the damn table. And then I stuck my foot out and I tripped that little bastard as he ran by. Because it takes a village, y'all, you know? So that son, the one that looks like me, had a daughter who looks like him. My granddaughter looks just like me. She's beautiful. I tell her that all the time. My son hates it. He said, don't tell her she's beautiful. Tell her she's smart. I'm like, yeah, she's not that smart. I mean, she's a kid. How smart can she be, you know? It's like, but, so my ex-wife, when the baby's born, she calls me up. And she asks me, she goes, what do you want the baby to call you? When the baby's like 10 minutes old, can we give it a rest? Now, let me tell you, my ex-wife lives near my son. He works in D.C. She lives in Maryland. So she gets to see the babies, the kids all the time. I raised those boys, and now she's reaping all the benefits. Her and her boyfriend. So she's in the delivery room with the baby and everything, and then she takes the newborn baby, my granddaughter, and puts him on her boyfriend's lap and starts taking pictures and throwing them up on Facebook. Isla and Pawpaw. And then she calls me up and she goes, well, I'm just letting you know, my man is Pawpaw. I'm like, he's not her Pawpaw. He's not even related, y'all. We're not even married. So I called my son up and I said, what's going on with this? They laid claim to the name Pawpaw, and he goes, well, what do you care? Come on. He can be Pawpaw number 2, you can be Pawpaw, he can be Pawpaw number 1, you can be Pawpaw number 2. I'm like, I'm number 2? I'm the poo-poo Pawpaw? He said, that's right, because you're the shit. I'm just going to be Grampy, so I'm Grampy. That's the way it is, you know? So Valentine's Day comes around. I always give him a little gift Valentine's Day. I like to get my granddaughter, she's a very smart child. I want to give her something educational. So I sent her an educational gift for Valentine's Day. And I call her up and I say, will you be my Valentine? She's like, no. Why not? She goes, you didn't send me any candy. Nana and Papa sent me a box of chocolates. I said, let me tell you something, little girl. That's not your real Papa. That's just some dude who's shacking up with Nana. Shacking up means living in sin, and that makes Jesus cry because in the eyes of God, in heaven, that's called the Hosanna. And your name is Hosanna in the highest. What does that mean, Grampy? I said, that means Nana and Papa are going to burn in hell forever and ever. Enjoy your chocolates. Happy Valentine's Day. So they have this little girl, and then a year later they have a little boy, and then a year later they have another little girl. 3 kids within like 5 years. My son calls me up and he goes, listen, I don't want you to talk me out of it, but I'm getting a vasectomy. I'm like, good call, good call. I love those kids, but someone's always crying in your house, you know? Good call. So the day of the vasectomy, I wanted to call him up and ask how it went. So I called him up, like, hey man, how did it go? It was surprisingly well. It didn't hurt that bad. And so I took the family out and we're enjoying a nice meal. And I said, well, I'm not going to keep you. I just want you to know I think that's a good adult decision you made. I love you and I'm proud of you. And he said, Dad, I'm going to have to call you back. My kids are banging on the table and running around the restaurant.